Modern Mompreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Day Smith, and today I have a very special guest, a fellow Texan, DFW girl herself, Miss Keidra McGriff. Keidra and I, we met through a mutual friend, a high school friend of mine, and she was like, she's writing children's books, and I'm so in love with what she's doing. She wanted to introduce me to Keidra and was like, she's the one who has inspired her to really get into this game of writing children's books, among other things, among balancing motherhood and all of that. So I want to introduce Miss Keidra McGriff to the Modern Mompreneur Podcast. Welcome, Keidra.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Thank you for being here. So we'll start off with a very simple question that you'll know the answer to. No pressure. Who are you and who do you serve?
I am Keidra McGriff, and I serve the one and only God our Father.
Amen.
Um, After serving God, I serve my family and my community.
I love it. I love it. So what do you do for work, for business? Like, tell us more about your career, your professional life.
Okay, so professionally, career-wise, I am a civil attorney. I work for a pro bono law firm. So we take our clients pro bono, meaning that they don't pay us for our
Mm,
services. I work in our housing, public benefits, and consumer division. So I do a lot of housing stuff. So your evictions, landlord tenant issues. Basically, our main priority is keeping people housed.
okay.
So yeah, that's what I do professionally.
Wow. So you got into the space of pro bono law. Like how did that happen?
So, people, well, I'm not gonna say people, but a lot of times people, hear lawyer, attorney, they think, ooh, they make a lot of money. That's what, some people want to go, into the profession for.
Yeah.
But me personally, I was driven by wanting to help other people. And being an attorney was the way that I saw to make that happen. And then as far as how I got to my current job, I've been there for 4 years. It's 4 years this month. And I basically was working a job for a firm that I wasn't really happy with.
Mm.
So I had a list of things I wanted from my next employer. I shared it with one of my law school friends, and she was like, "Hey, why don't you apply for this organization?" I applied for all of their open staff attorney positions and got the call, and I've been there ever since.
Wow, good for you. You're serving a population that doesn't always get the help in that space around home ownership and evictions. Sometimes you just feel like you're gonna lose against the man, whoever that is. And so you're providing hope for a lot of people and doing it pro bono because the legal fees and all that can add up, when you think
Yes,
about trying
yes.
to go through the system and all of that. And a lot of times it's not in our favor as minorities for sure. So yeah. So does your firm serve clients all over the country, the state, or just locally in DFW area?
So there are actually three legal aid organizations across the state.
Okay.
Our organization serves the northwest part of Texas.
Okay.
So I'm in the Dallas office, so we only serve in Dallas County, but we have offices in Fort Worth, Denton, Collin County, more rural areas. So yeah.
Hmm. Nice. I love it. And what brings you joy about what you do and your job? I mean, what do you feel like keeps you going? Because I'm sure it's a lot of just things happening all the time and clients, and what keeps you going in that space?
Well, like you said, is the need to be in that space. There's a strong need for legal representation, whether
Hmm.
it be reactive or proactive. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people just don't have the funds for the
Yeah.
services that they need. So that's what keeps me going is to know that I'm feeling, doing a service that's very needed.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And as a professional mom, tell us about your family and how you kind of tell us about your family.
So I'm married and the mother of two sons. They are 9 and 5.
Nice.
Um, I'm spoiled by my employer, though I will say, because I have a lot of flexibility.
Nice.
Flexibility, so it,
Nothing
it
wrong with
it
that.
definitely helps me being a mom. We're on a hybrid schedule. We were, remote for a while, like most people after COVID. But since things have been coming back around, they've allowed us to be on a hybrid schedule. So I only have to go into the office 2 days a week. So I'm able to be at home, when my boys get out of school.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it just allows me the flexibility to, be present and active with them.
Very nice. That's not something you hear about when you think about attorneys. I've worked with attorneys and I know the hours they put in on the corporate side or even if they're with a private firm. And having a family, like I've heard a lot of them, they'll hire me to help them, or they definitely, have to have support in order to be present for their kids. So that the way that you practice law is nice because you're able to have a life first career, a life first business,
Right.
really able to be home with
Which
your
is one of the
kids.
things, yeah, which was one of the things on my list that I
Mm.
shared with my friend and that led me to my employer because I had my oldest son when I was in law school. So,
Oh,
funny
wow.
story, I actually found out I was accepted to law school, and then like a month or 2 months later, found out I was pregnant. So I went into my first year of law school pregnant,
Yes.
and I had him the week before spring break of my first year in law school. Like
Wow.
I took a
Okay.
test that morning and I took one of my midterms that morning and then was admitted to the hospital that evening to be induced and have him. So having going into the profession already with a family, that was one
Mhm.
of the top things that I needed from an employer. Like I need to know when I'm getting paid, that I'm getting paid. I needed set hours. Like for the most part, I work a typical, 8 to 5, unless I
Mhm.
have, a project or I'm preparing for trial, and I, work longer hours. But for the
Yeah.
most part, my day starts. Well, my work day starts at 8. It ends at 5. And like the people in my office, I work in a very good office, so we're understanding of the people who have kids and families and other
Nice.
priorities. So there's not that expectation of you to devote your entire life to the job.
Like it. I love that. That's a good culture, especially for moms or dads who, have things to do with their kids. They got to leave early when the kids get sick. They got sports activities. You don't want to occupy your weekend with work. So, I like that you said that you made that kind of a non-negotiable, really, when you were going for a job. And I think if people are not in that situation and they have to create that new culture is difficult, but hopefully people are able to, do what you do, find a way to say, okay, this doesn't work for me anymore. Let me find something else and give the non-negotiables. And it worked out for you. That's great. That's really good. And your team supports you too.
Yep.
Yes, good. Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about this life as an author. So now you are already successful in your own right, a wonderful mom, wife, a boss, not entrepreneur, professional attorney, doing good work in the community. And you said, you know what? I want to add another notch on my belt. Let me become an author, which is so rare. First of all, to have an idea and put it down on paper and share your story with the world. So tell us about your book. I have it here, but I'm gonna let you tell about it and then that journey to becoming an author.
Okay. So I've always liked to read. Even as a child, I always liked to read. Excuse me. And I never really thought of myself as a writer. Like even in school, I was
Mm,
like, I'm an excellent reader, but I don't really like to write. I never thought of myself as a writer.
yeah.
But then when I was pregnant with my youngest son, I went looking for a book for my older son on becoming a big brother. And
Oh,
unfortunately, they didn't have, well, I couldn't find any books with children of color um, for what I was looking for.
yeah.
So my thought was, write it yourself. Write a book on becoming a big brother with some little black boys. And so I actually started working on a manuscript for that. And then I lost it. I have no idea.
Oh, look,
To this day, I have not found that manuscript.
where is it? We need to see that's still needed today.
It's still needed, and if I come across it, I will bring it to
Wow.
fruition. Yeah, so that's what I started writing on.
Okay.
And some I don't know if it was in us moving because we lived in Houston until 2019, and then we moved
Okay.
to the Dallas area, which is where I'm from, but my husband is not. And so we stayed with my mom for a little bit, and then we bought our own house. So somewhere in the moving and the transitions, it got misplaced.
Mhm.
But anywho, so I kind of didn't worry about it, didn't think about it too much. But then my dad unexpectedly passed in December of 2018. At that time, my oldest was 4. My youngest, he was a month away from being 1. So my dad and my oldest son were really close. And
Mm-hmm.
so after the initial, process of losing a parent, I was like, how am I going to explain this to my baby? Like, he's 4.
Mm-hmm.
And so we printed off pictures of, him and Pawpaw. And we sat down and explained to him, Pawpaw passed, he's gone into heaven. But, remember when y'all did this? Remember when y'all did that?
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure of the timeline, but sometime after that, I was like, I should probably put this in a book. Because, I know what happened. I was posting stuff on Facebook.
Okay.
And one of my old teachers, who's a really good friend of my mom's, she was like, be sure to record these memories for him. So just a compilation of showing him the pictures and then someone saying, record these for him. I was like, I think this is what my book is going to be. And they're kind of adventures with Papa. So
Yeah.
in showing him the pictures, with getting started with that process, I found an illustrator on Fiverr, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I want to use some actual pictures for some of the illustrations. So the
Wow.
cover picture is actually the picture. Oh, and
Wow.
I set it to the side. I should have pulled it out. But yeah, so that one's an actual picture. Let me see which other ones. So this one is an actual picture of them.
They were fishing. Oh, how nice.
And then the one with Elmo, this was actual picture. And this one, when I say the illustrator did an awesome job, because that looks so much like my daddy.
Wow.
But yeah, so that is how Adventures with Pawpaw came to be.
I love it. I love it. So when you were before the manuscript, when you lost it, the first thing that came to your head was like, I can't find this. Let me write a book about it.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, because I don't know if a lot of people would have thought to do that, because book writing seems like such a hard thing. And people are like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have time to write a book. But it's not. I mean, you already had with this book for sure, like a blueprint, like these pictures, and you
Mm-hmm.
had a story behind it. Like, you wanted to capture the story of your son with his pawpaw in order for him to have something to read. And now this is even for your younger son who didn't have memories with him to be able to have this. So I love that, and it'll carry on forever. And so that's great. And I love that you included pictures, and y'all heard she got Fiverr. If y'all don't know what that is, you better learn about it, because there are people on there who will do these things for you to help you, so you don't have to do it yourself. She was not even a writer, nor was she an illustrator, so she got help, but she made it work. And so she sent me this book, and I gave it to my daughter. And when I gave it to her, I told her what it was, and she's like your youngest. She doesn't know my dad. He passed before I even was married. But this was a nice representation that she can identify with, because they are people of color. Yes, it's a boy, but we even call my dad Paw. So Pop, same thing. And so it was so sweet, because it helped her to imagine what she could do with her pawpaw. These are just real life stuff: cutting the grass, going fishing, fixing things, fixing the Elmo doll. And, it was just so typical and normal, something that she could wrap her mind around. And it was a chance for me to be able to tell her what it's like, what it would be like with my dad. And I mean, I feel like you've given me a gift for sure, and even given your kids a gift. So this is amazing. I hope this is not
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome, the only book that you write, but y'all check it out. It's available. We'll tell you at the end of the podcast where you can connect with Keidra. But is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon,
It's on
yes.
Amazon. Adventures with Papa. Pawpaw. I don't know how you say it. What you say, Pawpaw?
Okay.
Pawpaw. That's how we say it in the South. Keidra McGriff. Pawpaw. But such a sweet book. I love it. I love it. So, one other thing, I sent Keidra a picture, because as soon as we booked our podcast, she was like, "Can I send you a book?" And I'm like, "Yes." So it's very sweet. So I do want you guys to support her. Get this book, especially if you have a brown boy girl who needs to see representation in our literature. I mean, I know there's a influx of authors now who offer that, but a few years ago, it was few and far between. You couldn't find anybody who had a brown child, girl or boy on the book. And
Yeah.
so that's important. Our kids need to know and identify with characters because they want to feel valued and important too, just like everyone else. And I think all cultures should have some representation, honestly, in literature. So
Yes,
I love
I
it.
agree.
Any more books that you have on the horizon? I mean, you did good with this one. So what you thinking?
So my youngest, he's now 5, and
Okay.
he talks about. I bet even though he was, a baby when Papa passed, he still, talks about him and references him as, as if he knew him. But one thing he was when he saw the book, he was like, "Where am I? This is based on my brother. Where am I
Yeah.
though?"
Yes.
So I am thinking of something for them.
Yeah.
And then I'm also thinking of a book that I needed when I was a young girl.
Wow. Yes. 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 And we will be buying that as well. I'm always looking for books that speak to my daughter and help her say things that I can't say through other people's stories. So absolutely keep us posted there.
Love it.
So tell us what does your son think about the book? Like he's old enough to read it. Like what does he say about it?
Are you famous yet? I mean,
Ah,
people are buying your
that's what he
And
said.
I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, people are buying your book, so you should be famous by now.
Yes, yes.
He's definitely supportive. But it's everything to see him like the other day. So I keep, a book or two in the car just in case someone catches me out and wants to buy a book. And because I do autograph all the books that I get, where people contact me directly to
Hmm.
purchase. So I keep some in the car, and so just the other day he pulled it out and he was just reading, and it
Yeah,
just warms my heart just to see that.
yeah. Yeah, it is. We had Tiffany, who you know, on the call, and she was on the podcast. She was talking about her youngest. His name is on the book. It's Jordy Bear, and
Mhm.
like she recorded him opening it, and I'm like, oh, that's a moment right there. Like just seeing them see themselves, like literally, you. This is you. What's his name? What's your oldest name?
Keenan.
Keenan. This is Keenan. He's like on the book. And so that's just such a special moment for real. And I encourage anybody who has an idea. I think everybody has a story, but even if it's
Mhm.
not your story, but something you want to give to the world, reach out to Keidra. She's done it. She's created a book. She did it self-published, and it's out there on Amazon. She can show you the ropes for you to be able to go and grab create your story and a legacy really to pass down to your kids. So I love it. I love it.
Oh,
Um,
and just so you know, so I actually didn't self-publish. I went
oh,
through a small Black woman-owned publishing company, and I wanted to
okay.
be sure to give her props.
What is that
Um,
company's name?
BFF Publishing, and she's actually
Oh,
based in Atlanta. So on the back
I
of the book,
see.
BFF Publishing. So she's
Nice.
a Black woman who owns her own publishing company. And
Okay.
again, I just spoke a word to one of my closest friends that I, wanted to publish a book. She said, "Hey, I know somebody who has a publishing company. Put us in contact," and it was a instant match.
Nice. I
Um,
totally missed that. I did see that when I opened it up, but I just was like, when you said Fiverr and Amazon, I was like, okay, self-publishing route. I don't know why.
Yeah,
But
no.
yes,
So I tried to go to self-publishing route, but it was too much. Like it was too
yeah,
much to figure out and learn. And I was like, if I had to do it myself, completely myself, I don't know that it'll get done.
it
So
ain't
let
gonna
me
get done. Yep. Yeah, you busy.
so so yeah, so kudos to Tiffany because she definitely self-published and did
Yes.
everything herself, but I had to outsource.
Yes. So this is two options. I wrote three books. My first one was self-published, and it did take months of editing and back and forth, all the things. But going with the company, because once you write it, you need to know how to get it out there, how to put it on sites, how to market it. And so
Yep.
publishing companies have way more knowledge about that than if you self-publish. But either way, going with BFF Publishing House in Atlanta, Black owned, female owned company, support, and get your book out there, because it's definitely gonna, like I said, who knew that me and my daughter would have this story, and my son too, to be able to share with each other that I didn't even have to do. This is Tiffany's words, but it relates so much to my family, and it's one of my daughter's favorite books. She's taking it to school for show and tell. Like, she loves this book. So
I love it.
yeah, it's a beautiful story. So good. Okay. Well, great. Well, now we're going to transition to my favorite part of the podcast, and that is the lightning round. So I'm going to
Okay.
ask you a series of questions, and you're going to just spit off the top of your head the first thing that comes to your mind, and we'll learn a little bit more about Keidra. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What are 3 words to describe you today?
Figuring it out.
Figuring it out. Oh, nobody has
Yeah.
done a sentence. I love it.
Figuring it out. Um, like so this Arthur journey, and it's new, and so I'm just figuring it out day by day. The marketing, the just getting the books into hands, little hands, big hands, small libraries, big libraries. So yeah, those 3 words would definitely describe a lot going on right now. Is figuring it out.
Figuring it out. I love it. What would you tell your 18-year-old self today?
I would tell my 18-year-old self to cherish this time. Like, don't rush life. Don't rush the. Ooh, I can't wait till I'm on my own, and I can't wait till I'm grown. Don't rush it, girl. Don't rush
Mm-mm.
it. It'll
I was,
come, and when it comes, it's
yes,
there to stay.
yes, yes. I'm like, my friend's like, this adulting is ghetto.
Get it? No.
Ghetto. I love it. Take your time. Okay. What does it mean to you to be a modern mompreneur?
Um, a modern mompreneur. I mean, we're in the digital age. It's social media. Is now we getting into AI. So it's just having to stay abreast of all the changes in technology, and um, like I said, figuring it out. Just I have my boys who are ready for me to be famous. I don't know what they think gonna happen when I am
I'm claiming
famous.
it. I'm claiming it.
But yeah, just the modern part just comes with staying, abreast of all the changes in technology and all
Hmm.
the marketing that's available via social media.
Love it. Love it. What do you love about being a mom?
I love watching the little humans that grew inside of me grow up on the outside of me. Like I said, like the other day, my oldest, he pulled out the book and was just reading it, and he's an excellent student, and just seeing everything that they are doing at such a young age. My youngest, he's excelling in school. This is his first year in public school. He's been in
Hmm.
daycare.
Hmm.
So this is the first year he gets to go to school with his brother, and just
Yeah.
watching them, like man, I'm somebody's mama. I'm two somebody's mamas.
Yes. Can you believe it? Crazy.
And
Life
then
is
it goes like,
crazy.
dang, I'm to somebody's mama. Like, oh, dang, he 9. Oh, Lord.
Hmm. It's wild. It's wild. What are you reading, watching, or listening to right now?
Okay, so watching um Found. I think it comes on Fox or
Okay.
NBC. It's a new show. It's about a lady who she was kidnapped as a child, and now as an adult, she runs her own agency finding lost people, and
Okay.
it's so good. I
Found.
think it comes
Okay.
on Tuesdays. I
Okay.
think.
Found. Okay. Cool. Good. Good. I
And
hadn't heard of that one.
yeah, it's good. I gotta say now it's a little intense because it shows you, like, even though it's a fictional show, it's like these things are really happening. Like, people are really missing. So it's
Hmm.
kind of you have moments of going in and out to where sometimes it might be a little too much because it's too real,
Mm.
and it's still, like I say, it's still a good show.
Okay.
And then reading, I am reading Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson.
Black cake. What is that about?
So it's about it starts, so I just started reading it. I'm in a book club, and for the once I think I'm actually going to be able to keep up with the reading schedule. So far it's about a woman who passes, and she leaves this video message for her 2 adult children, and they find out that they have another sister.
Mm.
So the book goes back and forth between the present and the past. And where
Okay.
I am in the book, I haven't figured out if the people that the characters they're referring to in the past are the mother and her life before
Hmm.
she was
Hmm.
their mother. It's really good.
Okay, black cake. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they're actually going to turn it into a series on Hulu.
Ooh, good for
That's the goal is
them.
before it's
Okay.
on.
Okay. Good. Your book club was like, we got to get this done. We got to have a watch party, something. Yeah, that's good. Okay. And then listening to music or podcasts, anything you're listening to?
Um, listen, it just depends on my mood. Just
Okay.
sometimes I'm on Apple Music shuffle of everything in my playlist, and
Yeah,
sometimes I want to hear the new stuff, whether it be rap, R&B. Not so much rap nowadays because I don't even know these new people.
me neither.
Um,
I don't know. I'm
but
old.
yeah, yeah, it just depends on my mood, but nothing in
Yeah.
particular that I'm listening
Yeah.
to.
That's I love asking about reading, watching, and listening to because I swear everybody gives me great advice. And I found some really good shows and podcasts and artists and all the things from y'all. So thank you. Okay, last question. What is bringing you joy right now?
What is bringing me joy right now? So I actually have started step aerobics class. I started like 2 months ago,
Hmm.
and I am enjoying it way more than I expected.
Okay, step
The first time I
aerobics.
tried a step aerobics class, I felt like my rhythm wasn't rhythming and I wasn't gonna get it. But I
Intense.
tried it again. I tried it again, and I've been hooked and going ever since.
Nice. Good for you. You got to find something that you enjoy. It's your time, your me time. Love it. Okay, well, you survived the lightning round. It wasn't so bad. We enjoyed all of it, all of your just learning more about you and what you like to do as a mompreneur and all of that. So I want to say thank you for carving out time in your day, your week to join us on the Mod Mom Pod and sharing your story and sharing more about this amazing book, Adventures with Papa, and your whole journey. And the fact that you are a full-fledged boss professional as an attorney, raising beautiful sons, and living out your life to the fullest, and now discovering this newfound career as an author. So, and there'll be many more to come, which is great.
Thank you.
Yes. Tell the community how they can get in touch with you or follow you.
So on Instagram, my Adventures with Pawpaw page is going to be Adventures with Pawpaw _ my personal Instagram page is going to be Keidra Keidra.esq. And as far as direct sales, I don't have a website set up yet.
Hmm.
So the book can be purchased on Amazon,
Okay.
or if you email me at Bergen, Burgin, Keidra, Keidra at gmail.com, I'll definitely send you an autographed copy.
Not you want the autographed copy because I mean you want to know the author that she thought of you, she signed for you. I got mine. You need to get yours. Love it. So, and I will put all of that in the show notes where they can email you for their copy, buy it on Amazon, and follow you on both your pages. And yes, and if you follow her, I'm sure she'll let you know about how to stay in touch for her future books.
Yes.
That's coming out. So I want to say thank you again, Keidra, for sharing your story. Thank you for sending me a copy of your book and sharing it with me and my family. I know whoever listens and listens to this and grabs the book will also be blessed to learn about the legacy with your dad and also the legacy in this book that you've created for your sons and for all the other children that's going to read it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, well, all of my mompreneurs, my modern mompreneurs, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, feel free to share it with another mompreneur, another friend. Like it, subscribe to the Modern Mompreneur podcast, and go and follow Keidra so you can stay in touch and support her with her endeavors in authorship and all of the things she has going on. And support her as well as her publisher, BFF Publishing out in Atlanta. And feel free to reach out if you have questions about how to get started with your book, how to publish it, all of the things. She's done it and she can show you how to do it. And so I just want to encourage all the modern mompreneurs out there to continue to give yourself permission to follow your dreams because you never know what's on the other side and who you can bless and impact. So thank you guys for listening. Until next time, y'all be blessed.